Okay, just a quick one to start the day because ever since, well, even before, but Isaac Cappy suggested that survivors put their own testimonies out on YouTube videos and hashtag survivor story. And that went quite viral. And I also suggest to survivors, because I do think it's healthy to get your story out there. But sometimes if you do it with somebody else, you're not in control, and it's a very, can be a very traumatizing experience. I remember when Miles Johnston was coming to interview me, maybe 2013, I don't know, quite a long time ago. I was feeling so triggered, even by interacting with him on the phone, that I actually reached out and asked another survivor to be there with me. And I was glad I did. And even then, you know, it was quite nerve-wracking. But there's something, the first thing I did online was speak to a camcorder in the safety of my own living room, in utter despair, and just talk and talk and talk until I'd talked it all out. For then I think I recorded for about 3.5 hours, and it pulled me back from the brink, you know. So the point of this is that I want to teach survivors how to use Zoom, because then you can share evidence, you can share other videos, you can share documents, you can share photographs, and it's a high quality and it's free. I pay for Zoom Professional because it's only free for doing 40-minute uploads. But particularly when I interview, I like to be able to, well, I tend to go an hour when I speak. So I pay for the Zoom Professional. It's about $18 a month or something. I've got support that helps me just cover my costs. But you can download it for free. Don't freak out about it when it says, can we access your audio? Can we access your video? And so on and so forth. It's not taking over your life. Well, in a way it is, but it's no different from Facebook or Messenger or all those other, I don't know if WhatsApp does it, I think it does, but almost all the useful apps these days require access to your, obviously, if you're going to record and you're going to share pictures and stuff, it needs to be able to access your stuff. But it doesn't make it any better, but the truth is anything can be accessed. I keep saying this, Julian Assange's stuff was unencrypted. So if Julian Assange can be hacked, anybody can, you know? So that aside, don't freak out with the process of downloading it. It's just a simple thing. Download Zoom. I suggest you, just like Skype, there's like the main zoom.com or .us, whatever it's called. And then there's some other apps that try to capitalize on it and try to make you go through them to get your data as well. So go direct to Zoom dot whatever it is, you know, and just install. And then to make video, like I'm still a dinosaur. I wish I knew how to do live streaming. I think I would need to spend a couple of thousand on software for that. If I wanted to multi-stream, like go live on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and D-Live all at the same time, I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. But I have found Zoom really helpful for being able to share documents. So, you know, a couple of people have asked me how to do that. So this is how. Download Zoom, and then you go click on, you've got it then, and you've got a shortcut on your PC or whatever. By the way, my camera, I see people spending thousands on microphones, and you know, I have a €60 external, if I say, I can't show it to you. I could take a photo and show it to you. But I have a €60 external camera that I just pop on the top of my PC, which has a built-in microphone and really good definition camera. And it you know, when I see people with these huge microphones in front of their mouth, it reminds me when we used to joke about, you know, if people if boys were driving or men were driving flashy cars, we used to say, oh, he must have a small penis. So it's really not necessary, I don't think, to have all these fancy, you know, stuff. You can do this very modestly, which I do. So, and I'm still working off this crappy computer, well, modest computer that somebody donated to me 2 years ago because mine got stolen. And the one before got fried, and, you know, God knows what's been going on with my tech for what I've been covering the last 5 years. But anyway, stay focused. I tell you what, guys, I don't know about you. I am fighting depression, just off the charts, just off the charts. So let me stay focused. So, right, you install Zoom from the original, you know, producer of Zoom. You don't freak out about saying, let me access this, that, and the other. And then you go to your device. You can do it off a phone too, but I'm a bit visually impaired, so it doesn't work for me to do detailed stuff on the phone. So I go to my Zoom, click on it, and the furthest left is start a meeting. So you click on start a meeting, and then for me, it says, do you want to join with computer audio? So I click on that, yes. And then, I wonder if see, I'm trying to show you what I've got in front of me. So I'll just talk it through, right? So you've installed Zoom. You've clicked on it and said, start a meeting. You've joined with computer audio. Maybe that's just a PC thing, I don't know. You know, and then you go down, you like hover your mouse at the bottom of the screen, and you've got a few things. The left-hand side says security, and then it says participants, and then it says chat, and then it says share screen, and then it says pause recording or stop recording. And then for some reason I accidentally installed emojis, so I didn't want that. So if you want to do basic one-man recordings, but you want to show evidence, and you don't want to, I've tried this in the past, it doesn't work. Like I still, the odd time I do it, if I haven't scanned something into my computer. But like if I go, and there's the proof, it's it's not really cutting it. You could do it a better way, you know? Or if people do the simple editing on YouTube Suite Studio, whatever, you have to stop the video to show a photograph and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to share this, how this is done. So you've pressed record, which is what I've done, and you just start talking. And then the chat, the participant, if you want, let me tell you first of all how to do it on your own. So this is really easy, right? You're talking to your camera, and then you want to show some other videos or some photographs or documents that you've got scanned in. You just go down and 1, 2, 3, fourth from the left, it says share screen. You click on that. Well, I demonstrate. Yeah, you click on share screen, press done, and then it takes you to your, you can minimize that. It takes you to your desktop. So I'm just learning to get things lined up. So I've got a few tabs open ready to share. But if you haven't, you can just go to Google Chrome or whatever your search engine is and find, just as you're recording, you can find what you're looking for and it will come up on the screen. So let's see, what I'm going to do next is, oh, there's Mr. Wedger. I've got to do something on that. Yeah, so Bible Gateway. So there it is. It's like up on the screen. And I could go to, like, I could go down to pictures, you know, and I could choose pictures and share them. You can move yourself around out of the way. And it's as simple as that. And then when you're done sharing stuff, you just go down, it's either at the bottom or the top. I put it down the bottom. You just go down, stop share, and you're back to yourself. And then at the end of it, you hover and you go end meeting for all. And then part 2, which is a tiny bit more technical, but not really. You know, I'm 63. If I can do it, you can. You know, so if you want to invite somebody in, well, I haven't got, See, live streaming for me is a bit distracting. I hear people doing live streams, and Brian Harvey's last couple of live streams, just brilliant. I was a bit cheeky, I was a bit naughty. I told Wendy Wu I wish I'd stuck pins in my eyes all afternoon instead of trying to find some evidence in her 6-hour live stream. Fortunately, somebody reached out and gave me the timestamp. But having said that, sometimes it's a bit like watching Big Brother, or sometimes you just want to check into somebody else's reality to stay grounded. It's really sad that humanity has come to that, but in a way it's a good thing. And Brian Harvey did the most amazing analysis of the BBC Carl Beach documentary. And to be honest, I'm hard on the BBC quite often, but I think at least one good person was involved with the production and direction of that documentary, because it subliminally painted a picture where one would say, what the fuck? There's some truth in there, you know? And it is a tangled web they've woven. But Brian Harvey did a very good analysis of it. And my opinion is both Carl Beach and Andrew Ash were victims, are victims and survivors, and were pimped to VIPs, but sadly also compromised, you know, and Andrew more compromised than Carl, because he's just, you know, he was made a reverend at one point, and you know, he and Carl appear to have done the very same thing, which is accuse VIPs, and yet Carl's serving 18 years and Andrew's just, you know, keeping a low profile. And the sad thing is that it is true. It is true. I'm sorry. I've had so many survivors disclose to me about Leon Britton. I've been shown photographs. So for this whole narrative about, oh, poor Leon Britton, his life was ruined. And I've got to say this somewhere consistently. I do believe with all my heart that Lord Bramall was one of the men that hunted me when I was about 10. My mind took a frozen, I don't know if you know about frozen memories, but when you're in a state of extreme trauma, your mind, before you dissociate, will take a snapshot. And I remember being hunted in a forest. I called it might be woods, but to a 10-year-old, it was a forest. And when I couldn't run anymore, I fell, and I fell on my face. And then there's a blank, and then I'm on my back, and I'm being urinated on by a circle of men. And I took a snapshot of just one of them in my trauma, and just drugged, you know, semi-drugged, traumatized state. But my brain took a picture, because my father was in the Air Force for 25 years, and there was an army uniform man amongst the circle around me in the forest. And my brain just took a snapshot, just because in my childish way I thought, oh, why is there an army man here? That we're not army. Just a bizarre thing to think, but that's what my brain remembered. And it wasn't until maybe two years ago, maybe, I saw a photograph of Lord Bramall in his younger years, and it was like seeing a ghost. It was like, it was traumatic. It still is. I looked at the Carl Beach documentary with Brian Harvey, and just if he's caught in the right age range, in the right army uniform that I remember, I just do that, you know. So I don't know how that I got completely off. Oh yeah, right. So that's live streaming, and that's long live streaming. You can only do 40 minutes on Zoom if you get the free version. If you want to do longer than that, it's, I don't know, I think I paid $18, $20 a month for Zoom Professional. And then I could take a lesson off Andy. I might do a more advanced lesson off Andy of how to do Zoom live on Facebook or Zoom live on YouTube. But as far as I've got, is I'll record something and then I'll upload it to YouTube as a premiere, like immediately afterwards, which allows you to have feedback and chat, a chat room. And then you can have yourself and your guest who were in the video both go to the chat room and chat with people as it's replayed, but it's still not a live. I do live on Facebook. That's the only place so far. But let's stay focused. Right. So 40-minute chunks you can do on Zoom. You can just talk here, or you can just go share screen, done, and then find what you want to find on your computer. You can share videos. You don't need any fancy software. You can share. I do have speakers on my PC, but and like I said, my €60 camera is great. The lighting's very important. When I first broadcast in the cabin, I had the desk over there, and it was disastrous. You need the light behind the computer, so I've now put the desk under the window, which gives, I paid no money. That's just natural daylight. So that's free as well. Position it in the right place. I recommend an external camera with a good mic installed in it. But you don't have to. You can use your Apple Mac and it's probably got a good mic, or you can use little earbuds with a speaker there. They come with your phone. Or you can get a penis mic if you want to. If you want to feel important, you know. Right, so I've shown you how to share screen. That's the basics, right? That's really helpful for survivors. You can talk uninterrupted, then you can go share screen. You will have saved your photos to your phone or to your computer, scanned them in or saved them as photos and then put them in your photo gallery, whatever. That most people have mastered that. And then you can just share them. And then you go end meeting, and then it goes into a Zoom file. So you'd need a YouTube channel. And then I just go to YouTube, and it says create, and I click on the video camera, and it says upload a file, and I go over to documents is where my Zoom files store, and Zoom is at the top, and I double click on that, and the bottom one is the most recent Zoom file that's been saved, and you just press upload. And then as a YouTube creator, most of you already on YouTube will know this, but as a YouTube creator, you have to say, no, it's not made for children, you know, if that's the case, and you have the option of saying the recording date. You can put tags in, you can add a thumbnail picture, and then you go publish. You get a choice to publish it public. If you're, again, to survivors, I would say, if you're nervous, it's really therapeutic to just talk, and I need to have a session with myself. I need to have a talk with myself because I can't keep living in this dark place. But you can, if you talk fully honestly, you can mark it as private or unlisted so that only you can see it, or somebody you send the link to. And if it takes you a week to just sit with that, and then you feel confident enough to go public, then you can put it to public, you know. Or if you just feel you need to tell your story, but there's a court case or you're gagged or all that crap, which I don't agree with. But if there's a reason you don't want it to go public for now, you can put it to unlisted, and just when the time is right, you've got that evidence there. You made that, you said what was true and how you felt on it, and the recording date. Put the recording date. The recording date comes under more options as a YouTube creator. So just keeping it basically simple. The final thing is, if you want to include, and you can include up to 100 people on a Zoom meeting. So I'll tell you how to do that if you're the host. So second from the left, it says participants at the bottom. You click on that, and then a screen comes up over on the right, and it says invite. You click on that, and it says copy URL. And you copy the URL, and then you can go and invite that person on whatever way you communicate with, but whether it's Messenger or email or however you communicate, you know. And then don't forget this part, because they've introduced this new security. So say I've invited somebody and they've clicked on the link and they've got Zoom, and even if they don't, it will help them download it to come into the meeting. But do keep your meeting screen open, because you will have to allow them in. It used to be that they would just appear because they had the link, but since the COVID thing and children using Zoom, they've added another level of security. So as the host, you have to allow that person in. And then if that person also wants to share documents, you go to where it says share screen. On the right of that, there's a drop up, or if you've got it at the top, it's a drop down, and it says allow everybody to share screen, and you can do that. And on the record option as well, there's an option to let everybody record the meeting. So I think that's the basics of it, and I will do an advanced tutorial with Andy on how to use it for live streams. But I hope that's clear, and if it's not, ask questions in the comments. Now I'll do my Bible study. God bless.